Hi, this is Bedtime Small Thought. I'm Small Thinker. Today, I'd like to share my thoughts about the movie City of God, which was released in 2003. Let's get started. Not everything has been abundant. But at least I've never felt my life threatened by others as I grew up. For whatever reason, that's never happened to me. City of God, the nickname for the slums of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, gives an ironic sense of being a city abandoned by God. It feels like a city where questions about what justice is, are luxuries. Survival, something that should be natural for us, is something you have to struggle hard for in the City of God. The wisest decision in the City of God is to find a way out, no matter what. However, from the moment of birth, the familiar poverty, violence, and murder make the situation seem unbelievably surreal. It makes it almost impossible to even consider how to escape. For those born into this reality, the outside world seems unimaginable because, to them, the miserable conditions inside are all they have ever known. Buscape is a boy who made a very wise decision in this sense. He chooses to escape from City of God. Funny thing is that his choice doesn't seem to come purely from his wisdom or pursuit to what is right. In fact, Buscape is a kind of misfit in the society of City of God. There, if you need money, you can steal, and if someone displeases you, you can just shoot them dead. However, Buscape was too kind and weak. He had made several attempts, but he couldn't fully conform to the order of violence prevalent in the City of God. So, he had to choose a different survival strategy. Of course, refusing to engage in trivial activities, like drug trafficking, can be seen as one of his wisdom. However, this refusal can also be seen as a form of rebellion against not fitting into the mainstream of the place, where people resort to shooting and killing. If Buscape had adapted well to the society he belonged to, just like others, and if he had succeeded there, what would have been his fate? Most likely, as with the endings of many other characters, it would have been death. However, who bears the responsibility for a society where following the established order and customs leads to such an end, death? Perhaps, a question like this would be the beginning of questions into the society of City of God, where justice seems almost impossible to find. This leads to another question. Who supplied the guns so easily obtainable? Couldn't it have been prevented? The police couldn't prevent it, or they wouldn't taking advantage of the situation. I believe that a society where there are no rules is more dangerous than a society where deeply flawed rules are firmly established. In the movie, the gangsters are simply the product of these deeply flawed rules. Blaming the gangsters only cannot find any solution of the City of God. Here, there's no glimpse of human dignity, and there are no basic social safety nets to preserve life. Murder is far too easy, and it's learned at a young age. That's why there's no hope to be found for the future. It's funny that the wisest person in some place is someone who decides to escape from there. But even if someone decides to escape, there are too many hurdles to overcome. Everyone around is a criminal, and I haven't received even basic education. Families often die suddenly, or they never existed from the beginning. Just as many self-help books suggest, the idea of starting anyway, learning from failures, and overcoming obstacles would work here as well? I wonder if failure might mean just death here. being thankful for current survival and living without excessive desires, is the best someone can achieve here? Is it a luxury to dream of the future and hold on to hope here? Fortunately, Buscape follows the wisdom from self-help books that we are familiar with. He always started from the bottom. Of course he failed many times. Although he disliked failing, he didn't dwell on it for long. In fact, past failures could have led him down the wrong path. However, each time, he found his own lessons to learn. He made fairly objective judgments about his situation. Despite his harsh environment, he didn't complain about how bad things were. He calmly accepted his conditions and observed his surroundings without giving up. I admired this part of his behavior. Regardless of the situation, Buscape stayed calm and faced the circumstances head on. Consequently, luck was on his side at times. However, I believe that in Buscape's success, the value of his courage when opportunities arose was far superior to luck. He instinctively seized opportunities, wasn't afraid of the risks involved in using them, and knew how to utilize them effectively afterward. Considering the fact that all his decisive actions when crucial opportunities arrived seemed to occur in the blink of an eye, perhaps Buscape had been waiting for such opportunities for a long time. It appears he had prepared himself for a long time. And that tells us that his desire to escape the city of God was so significant. I think the movie City of God is a success story about finding hope even in difficult situations. In fact, any success story doesn't usually arise from easy circumstances. But usually, it's not risking death. That's what makes Buscape's story a bit more special. Just because a place is where death is commonplace doesn't make the fear of death any smaller. Perhaps Buscape's key to success lies in not bending his will or giving up even amidst the fear of death. Accepting the situation with calmness, observing, and never forgetting his inner goals. Because surviving in a place where society's rules don't protect you, and still not losing oneself, enduring like this is not easy. Moreover, continuously thinking about and questioning what one's own sense of rightness is truly challenging. For me, these things made me think about Buscape for a long time. That's all for my thoughts on the movie City of God today. Have a good night.